I even doing there? I'm doing a no-buy year. Which seems counterintuitive to be shopping while you're doing a no-buy year. But I did, and I had this feeling. Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. So good to have you. In case this is your first time joining my channel, my name is Robin, and this channel is all about the intersection of beauty, fashion, and spirituality. If that sounds good to you, why not subscribe and join my little community that's slowly growing, and also hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. And if you like this video, give it a like. I would really appreciate that. This video is it's going to be a combination of fashion and spirituality because I have a couple of little stories to tell, but it's also a follow-up to a video that I had made when I was in search of a white button-up shirt. And as you can see, I'm wearing one. So this is the winner chicken dinner of all of the ones that I ended up buying. Now I am doing a no-buy year, so you're probably asking yourself, well, what are you doing buying clothes if you're doing a no-buy year? Well, the parameters of my no-buy year is I'm not buying any clothes, shoes, skincare, beauty items, makeup, housewares, the list goes on and on. I'm just really scaling back this year, but I have a little workaround. I use my Athleta Visa for all of my purchases, pretty much all of my purchases. And so I accumulate reward points where I can use it at Gap, Old Navy, Athleta, or Banana Republic. So as a result, if you watched that previous video, you know I've been sort of buying a few things using those reward points, and most of them haven't worked out, and that's very unfortunate for me. But being petite, I'm 4'10", being a curvy petite, I have a special types of challenges when it comes to clothes. I'm a fashion designer by trade, and no, I don't like to sew. Making my own clothes, although seems like a nice little alternative this year, really, first of all, I don't have time for it, and second of all, it's not something I love to do. So I try to stick to the brands that I know work for me generally, and I've been broadening my horizon because I don't know how Gap, I don't know how Banana Republic petites fit me, but so far they haven't done a great job, and we'll discuss why. But if you clicked on this video, you would have seen something about the laws of attraction and how to use the laws of attraction. And so we're going to talk about a story about the shopping that I've been doing and some interesting things that happen along the process that encapsulate the laws of attraction. So first, I'm just going to get this out of the way. We're going to talk about the 3 shirts that I ordered. I ordered 3 more. I had enough reward points that I didn't have to pay anything for them. So I went ahead and I ordered 3 shirts, 2 from Old Navy and 1 from Gap. I had been on a mission. I wanted a nice oversized white button-up shirt. But again, being petite, oversized clothing just sort of swallows me up. And to get the size that's going to fit me across the bust, then it gets really big everywhere else. So let's just talk about, and I'll put up footage of the 3 different garments that I ended up buying, and 2 of them got returned. The first one was a complete fail, and I had very high expectations. It was from the Gap. It's called the Organic, 100% Organic Cotton Big Shirt. And I love the way the picture looked. And again, I'm not really familiar with Gap's petite sizing. I don't know when they started carrying petites, to be quite honest, because I haven't shopped at Gap in a really long time. But I tried it out. I ordered a size medium. Now, as you can see from the footage, it looks really bad on me. It's too big, too long. I mean, yeah, it's oversized, but it like puffs out on the back. Sort of making me look like I'm humped on the back, I think, and it just didn't fit well. And then the thing is, like, I tried tucking it in, and I didn't like the way it looked tucked in, so that was a fail. Yeah, so the one from Gap, it just looked so shapeless. And I know it's oversized. I get the trend. But for someone of my stature and my body shape, it just didn't look good. Even when I tried tucking it in, it didn't look good. I'm looking at the footage right now that I filmed. And nothing about it worked on me. And I think it's because the fabric was very stiff. When you look at it, it looks very similar to the one that I'm wearing right now that I ended up choosing. But the feel of it, the drape of it, is what made this one work. We'll get to this one in a minute. But the second one that I bought was called Linen Blend Boyfriend Shirt for Women from Old Navy. And I thought I was gonna like it, and it's not bad, but it just, I don't know. Again, there was something about the way it felt on, the way I perceived myself in it. It was too long for me overall. You know, when I watched back the footage, I think that it may have been workable, but I wasn't gonna keep both of them. I just wanted to keep one. And so this was the one I ended up with. This is the oversized boyfriend shirt for women. Yeah, and the other one was a linen blend boyfriend shirt for women. I keep getting these names confused because they're so similar. So anyways, what I loved about this one is that the fabric is very, very soft. It's very drapey. So because it's not as stiff as the Gap shirt was, it just drapes better on the body, which doesn't look so boxy when it's on. And it felt nicer when I tucked it in, and then I was looking at it, you know, opening it up, wearing it more like a jacket with a tank top underneath of it or something. So these are all considerations when you're petite and curvy, and it's, you know, difficult to find things sometimes, especially with the trends that are going on right now. But I'm very happy with this, you know, and I kind of like the slack collar hanging back over the shoulder. It gives it a very casual look. Like this looks more dressy, so I left it open. I had the pennant right down here so that it's not showing too much. But yeah, just leaving it like this, I think it looks very relaxed, very summery. So this was the winner. But now I'm going to talk about the laws of attraction. I know this seems very random, but these, I promise I'm going to bring these concepts together somehow. Because I had an experience when I went to return the Gap shirt. And it was one of those days. You ever have one of those days where it just seems like everything is flowing very easily, where the traffic is no problem, you find a parking space, you just feel like you're in the flow of life and things are moving very, very well. People are being very nice to you. You just feel like you're high vibe the whole day. Well, I had that kind of day, and you know, I wish those days, you know, were more frequent than they are, and that all has to do with me. I know that, but I wanted to talk about, like, because what we get are messages. When we're in flow, when we're in high vibration, when we're in alignment with our goals, with what we say that we want, we get a lot of messages. Even when we're maybe not in those states, we receive messages that we don't always pick up on. And I wanted to talk about how those messages come. And then I'm going to share stories of things that happened that day, a couple of things that happened that day that were just sort of like confirmation that I'm on the right path for myself. There goes Zoe outside my door, digging a nest, digging a hole. I don't know where she's going. Eventually she'll stop. Okay. How messages come to us. They come in many ways. And one of them, something that is for me, seems like it happens the most often, is that it's like an instinct. You get a feeling about, you know, don't turn here, turn go down to the next street and turn. It just gets a feeling of like, I'm supposed to go here. I'm supposed to go there. You don't know why, you just kind of feel it. And I would say probably we all get those messages, but we don't always pay attention to them. And I'll give an example of one time that happened to me. I used to always take a path when I was going to college. I would have to leave my house at about 6:30 in the morning. And there's a McDonald's not far from my house. So I would, every day, if I had a morning class, I would go through the McDonald's drive-thru to get a cup of coffee. So I'm driving, and the path I always took was so here's the streets. Here's this street and this street, and McDonald's is over here. But there's a Kohl's right here. And I used to take the back road behind the Kohl's to go to the McDonald's instead of to go all the way down to this other main street, which you could also get to it. So I always took that little side road behind the Kohl's to go to McDonald's at 6:30 in the morning. And one morning I was driving, and I tell you, it is so automatic for me to make this path because I did it 2-3 times a week for 3 years, because this was maybe the 3rd year I was in school. And for some reason, I just was like, I'm not going to go that way. And I kept going down to the main road. So then I go into the drive-thru, and it takes about 10 minutes to get through the drive-thru. And as I'm coming out, there are a dozen cop cars coming into the parking lot. And as it turned out, that at the time when I would have driven behind the Kohl's, 2 guys had gotten murdered in their car. They had been shot. And the Kohl's employee found them behind the Kohl's. Now, I would have been there when that happened. I would have either found them first, or I would have been there with the Kohl's employee to see that it had happened. It just ran chills up my spine that there was a little voice in my head that said, don't go that way. And I didn't. So, it's really strange. I think it was a drug deal gone bad, something like that. I think that the murder had happened maybe I don't think the murder had just happened at that moment, but I would have come across those 2 murdered men in the back of Kohl's. So those are messages that we need to listen to. If you're about to go into a gas station at night and you get a voice that says, don't go here, don't go there. That is your higher self. That is a guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, telling you not to do that. If you're going to walk to your car, leaving a mall or something like that, and you get a feeling of, I need to find a security guard to take me to my car or something like that, then do that. Don't ever discount that instinct. Your instincts are there for a reason. Those messages are there for a reason. Sometimes messages, I'll actually hear the words. It won't just be a feeling. I'll hear words. Like back in December, I thought I was going to go back to Peru this summer with my friends. And I clearly got a message, you're not going back to the jungle this year. And would I have loved to have gone? Of course. But as a result, I was able to take the trip with my husband. So there were blessings that came from me not going to the jungle. I got to perform, and obviously I would rather have had a trip to the jungle than perform for an audience. There's no comparison. But I saw that as a gift, and I took it with gratitude that I got an opportunity to perform when these days I don't get that many opportunities like I used to. So that happened. I took the trip with my husband, and then some other things happened that because it's capped at 20 people, it also allowed a friend of mine who had never been, who is doing a lot of internal work to be able to go. And me and a few other people were able to contribute money so that he could afford to go. So, that all happened, though, months after I got the message, you're not going back to the jungle this year. These days when I get a message like that, I listen and I accept, and I don't try to, force things to happen. Sometimes when we're just trying to make something happen that's not meant to happen, it's just frustrating. Sometimes it ends up costing us money, ends up costing us our health. And if we were just listening to these messages and believing them, then life would go a lot smoother. So sometimes a message can come from somebody else, like a podcast. I get so many messages, it seems like, when I'm listening to different podcasts, that information comes to me that I'm been curious about, that I've been interested in, or maybe it's an answer, like something that someone says is sort of an answer to something that I've been thinking about. But I always leave myself open to receiving answers from whatever source they are meant to come from, whether that be a friend, something they may say, whether it's a podcast, a video. These messages can come from so many places. We can really dismiss it as not meant for us, or as, oh, that's random, oh, that's a coincidence, that doesn't mean anything. But what if you were to actually believe that that was meant for you, and that you took that information to heart and made a change in your life that was for your higher good, that actually led you to something, whether it's led you to a new job, a new career, moving somewhere, taking a risk on something? I say it's worth it. I say it's worth it. Whether you believe it or not, I think it's worth it to listen and to take those as meant for you. And what's not meant for you isn't meant for you. You can just discard that. But sometimes a message will even come like on a bumper sticker or a poem that lands up in your email from, you get on an email list of something, and there's a phrase or a quote or something, and you're like, that's exactly what I needed to hear today, or that's exactly what I was thinking about already today. And then it's like a double confirmation of, okay, I'm thinking about this for a reason, and I need to do something with this. Why am I talking about this? Well, I had an experience, and I'm going to pop in the 2 videos that I made on the day that I went to the mall to return this Gap shirt. Didn't know Gap had closed in that mall, and there are no Gaps around me within an hour's distance, pretty much. But as a result, I did something I shouldn't have been doing. I went into the Athleta store and I did a bit of shopping because I thought, well, first of all, I was seeing if they would return, if they would accept the return, since they're the same parent company. I was pretty sure they wouldn't, but I wanted to find out. So no, they don't accept the returns for Gap. But there was something inside of me that was like, just stay a while, look around. Maybe you'll find something. I don't know what it was. There was just a feeling that I needed to be there. So I looked at my phone. I said, okay, I still have $112 in Athleta rewards that I can use if I find something here. But normally I don't ever find anything in the stores because I always buy a petite. But I decided to try on a few things. And now for me, doing a no-buy year, this is the first time I've ever gone into a fitting room to try anything on. What was I even doing there? I'm doing a no-buy year. Which seems counterintuitive to be shopping while you're doing a no-buy year. But I did, and I had this feeling. So I'm gonna put those videos in here. There was 2 things that happened, and then I'll come back at the end and we will break it down. To tell you a story of something that just happened. I came to the mall to return something that I bought with reward points on my Athleta card, but I bought it from the Gap. Now they closed the Gap in this mall. So I went into Athleta just to see if by chance I could return this thing from Gap there.
No, but I still have $112 in reward points. And I thought, well, maybe there's something here. So I did end up picking up a little black skort that I'm going to use my rewards points. And she punched it in, and it turns out I had to pay 32 cents. And I was like, all right. Turned out I had just taken all the change out of my purse yesterday. So I had a $1 bill, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to spend this. You know, this is my no-buy year, but 32 cents. Okay, I can spend 32 cents. Well, I'm standing in line, and I hand her over the $1. And I said, oh, yeah, I just took all the change out of my car, out of my purse. And the woman in line behind me says, I'll pay that. And she paid the 32 cents. So I got this skort for free. It's just like, this is so crazy. It's my no-buy year. And I didn't pay anything for that skort because even though I was going to have to pay 32 cents, the kind lady in line behind me said, oh, I'll pay your 32 cents. I mean, that has never happened to me. The laws of attraction. I was sticking to my no-buy year, and that's what happened. So what an interesting day this has been, because not only did the woman behind me in line pay my 32 cents for me, but when I was in the dressing room, I was eavesdropping on a conversation that was happening not behind me, well, it was technically behind me. Some ladies that were trying some things on. I heard the one woman saying that she was a fitness instructor, and she said that she was 61 years old, and I just had to see, I'm listening to this conversation between her and the woman that was talking about how she just had plastic surgery. And I have a great doctor, and so I know that name too. Anyway, so they were saying, oh, you don't look 61, you look like you're in your 40s. So of course I had to like step out and look in the big mirror so that I could take a look at what she looked like. So I was like, oh, well, you know, where do you work? And turns out she works not too far from my job. So I said, I got her card, and I said I'd give her a call, and I've been looking for a fitness instructor. That's the thing. I put it out into the universe. In the past week, I put it out into the universe that I want to find a new trainer, because I was thinking about the trainer that I had for, you know, I had him for a couple of years, and I had really good results when I was just, you know, going once or twice a week, and it made me accountable. And so I was thinking, yeah, I really want to find someone, and, you know, kind of had the criteria of it would be great if they actually were down by where I work, so that I could just go there after work. Anyways, we'll see if that turns out. I'll keep you posted if I end up setting up a session with her. But, you know, how funny is that? That just being open and in a place that I would not have been. Now, I'm on a no-buy year. I should not have been in the mall. Now, should I have been trying on clothes? No, I should not have been trying on clothes. What was I doing in there trying on clothes? They were having a sale. Normally though, for the past 6 months, if I had to come to the mall, there was no way I was going into the fitting room to try anything on. But today, I just felt like, I felt open to it. I felt like I needed to do that. And I don't know why I felt that way. I just felt like I needed to try on these things. I need, you know, maybe I won't buy anything, but I just felt this sense. And I think that happens to us. These little whispers happen to us, and a lot of times we don't pay attention to those whispers. But when your heart is open, when you're open to the signs and what the universe is bringing you, then it's so great when things align and happen. That just happened to me. And I loved her personality, and I loved that she's a woman, and that she's older than me, and that she's really fit, and that she would understand my needs as a woman. And, you know, I just got that feeling right away when I met her. So anyways, I am excited to give her a call and set up an appointment to train with her, and I'll keep you posted, let you know how it goes if I end up doing it. Athleta, where magic happens.
So I was so excited that day, as you can probably see from or hear even in my voice, that there was a very kind person who ended up paying my 32 cents for me, and so my little Athleta score ended up costing me 0. But the other thing was that being in that fitting room and listening to the conversation happening between the two ladies outside the fitting room, I was being a little nosy. I was listening to their conversation, but I immediately recognized when the woman said, "I'm a fitness coach," that I had been putting my intention out. I'm working on my health. I bought the athletic greens. I'm doing a liver cleanse right now. But I had put it out into the universe that I wanted to find someone to help me get back on track with exercising. And because clearly I don't have the motivation myself to get it done. But, I wanted to find someone that would understand the needs of a woman, was a woman of a certain age. I'm 50. I wanted to find somebody who was around my age, who was living the life, who was, of an embodiment of what I'm striving to achieve with myself. And, one of the things that I always get frustrated by whenever I've worked with trainers at gyms is they have usually a very specific approach that is like, you do this, you get the result. This is what you do, you get the result. And to me, it's never worked. It's never really worked. And you could say, oh, you're not putting in the work yourself. You're not tracking your food intake. You're not working out hard when you're not working with the trainer. You can say all of these things, but I feel like there's more to it. I feel like there's maybe a spiritual aspect to why it's not working for me. There's definitely a deeper reason why it hasn't worked for me. And whether it will work for me going forward, I don't know. I mean, I am happy with myself. I do love myself, and I want to take care of my body. I want to care for this vessel that I've been gifted in this lifetime. I ended up having a half an hour conversation with this trainer yesterday. We've set up an appointment to meet, and I'm very excited about it. And she said so many of the things that I've been saying on this channel. She even said, I feel like things happen in divine order. I started laughing. I wrote a song about that. In case you haven't seen that, I did post that video of a song that I wrote called Divine Order. And she said she wasn't supposed to be in Athleta that day either. And she didn't know what she was doing in there. So, you meet people. I had a pull to go in there and to be in the fitting room, to try some things on. I didn't really know why, but I didn't question it because I was feeling very open that day. And I just felt like, very flowy, and like things were just going right for me that day. I wish every day would be like that. And I would like to make every day that way. It doesn't always happen. This is just one of those stories that maybe you can take forward in your life, where you can, if there's times where that you haven't been listening to that inner guidance, that higher self, those messages that come, that you will start to listen to those as well. So I didn't want to just let this go. This just could have been one of those stories. Don't really share with anybody. It's just like, oh, this happened. That was really weird. I wanted to share this with all of you because I have so much gratitude when I can recognize when something has come to me that I have put out as an intention, and that now I'm going to do something with it, and what the results will be are to be seen. But I definitely, if you're following my journey, you will see what my experience will be with this particular trainer. And she's a life coach, and she thinks like me, so that's a plus right there. We're all about going deeper, that there's a deeper meaning to our lives, and that we have more control and power, and how important our words are. She even was talking about some of the things that I talked about in my last song that I posted called Alchemize, about how your words are creating your reality. And so it was a great reminder from the universe to have somebody telling me that. And that includes how we take care of our health and the things that we say about ourselves. And I know this, and I'm going to work on that. I am going to work on the things that I am saying out loud and internally about myself. So I'm watching what I say to myself and out loud. It's all connected. It's all connected. Well, I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found some of this information useful, and that you will also recognize the messages coming into your life. And if you do, leave me a message below. Let me know what messages, leave me a message about the messages that you have received this week that you chose not to ignore, because it's really important to listen to that inner guidance. I am so grateful for you and so happy that you've joined me for this video, and I'm wishing you a great rest of your week. And until next time, you're doing great, and listen to those messages.